All right, here we go. Welcome, guys. Thank you for tuning in. It is another episode of the No1 Podcast. I am your host, Coach Jake. David Tice, what's up, bro? Miss Yvonne. Oh my God, Yvonne, what are you doing? What are you doing? What's up, the Don Black? Happy to see you guys. As ever, I am here to field questions, entertain, whatever. I don't know whether actually entertaining or not. That is to be seen. Like I said, it's the last Wednesday of the year, and I want to talk about an idea that is crucial and might not be all that. Oh, hey, what's up? My wife is even tuning in. What's up, honey? Good to see you. Thank you. I want to talk today about preparation, right? Preparing. What does that even mean? Preparation. There's a sense that a lot of people want to. What's up, David Tice? Greetings from warm semi-tropical paradise, California. Yeah, if we could just get rid of your politicians, man, it would be a paradise. Mr. Maceman, Rick Brown, what is up, dude? Happy to see you. Thank you for tuning in. And as ever, guys, if you ever want to jump in, I'm trying to figure out how to bring you guys in as callers like I used to do on my old radio show, Mental Self-Defense Radio. But I can't right now because I'm on too many platforms. I'm on Spotify, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, 2 different Facebooks, Twitter, and I can't get all the stuff channeled yet. I'm trying to figure it out. And we're expanding. I just signed on with my brother, Michael Unbroken. He's going to start helping me with production. So we are going to blow up. And I really appreciate all you guys. What's up, Rick Brown? Happy to see you, dude. So I want to talk today about preparation. Like, how do you prepare? So much about preparation is about responsibility. But, what is responsibility? Responsibility is really freedom. They're two sides of the same sword. It's a double-edged sword, right? David Tice, 10th Planet, says, I'm preparing to do a catch wrestling seminar in Mexicali. I'll be using some of your techniques. Awesome, dude. Appreciate that. Like, the thing is I'm just a link in a chain of students and masters, and we all are in a way. So I just appreciate you going out there and sharing the good stuff and keeping it. It's like an oral tradition in language, and it can only be really practiced live. Like, we could video it and we could talk about it all day or take pictures or write books about it, but it has to be practiced as a sport, as a game. And so I'm very appreciative of that. That's so cool. So, okay. So speaking of preparation, oh, wait, the Don Black jumping in. I watch your live so often I can predict the formula. Video titled something like, you may be okay, but are you okay? And you start by greeting everyone. I mean, I guess, I don't know. Is that the formula? I mean, basically I come on, I think about what I want to talk about, and then I go, right? So there are different schools talking about preparation of preparing to do a broadcast. And the Don Black says, then you say something like, so what does that mean? What does it mean to be okay? Well, that's the analysis, right? So typically what I'll do is I'll bring up something that I think is useful or I think is possibly misunderstood, or maybe there's a different perspective to be had about it, and then I'll expand upon it. So I don't know, maybe that is a formula. When I used to have my old radio show, it depends on the topic. This is much different now. The Don Black says, love these lives. Thanks, dude. I appreciate you tuning in and love the feedback, man. And chat it up, please. Anybody in the chat, you want to connect, I will read faithfully whatever you read. I don't censor, unless it's like I've had some people chime in with dumb racist shit. I'm not going to fucking do that. You're not going to use my platform for dumb shit. But if you just want to talk, or if you're critical of me or praising me, whatever, I'll be faithful to it. When I used to have my radio show, it was a little different, right? Like, preparing for radio was different because you have the FCC. So I couldn't say fuck, shit, cocksucker, well, all the George Carlin cuss words, right? David Tice says, I just tagged in 20 people. Woo! Thank you, dude. I appreciate that a lot. Really, my goal with this is to reach as many people as possible. That is like a goal I've taken on to help as many people as I can, given what I know. Okay. And what I know a few things, but really my interests, where I tend to go above and beyond what the average person has, or even some experts in this case, are grappling and business. So if I can help, that is my goal. And so, David, I really appreciate you tagging people in. So, when I would prepare for a radio show, it was different. One, there's the FCC. So I had to be a little more like alert and with regards to like minding my words and things of that nature. I also had to like watch, because it was done in 20-minute segments with a 3-minute commercial break. And then I'd have to be ready to come back in and work all the dials and all that. But then beyond all the technical skill, the actual prep on each show is I would have to go do my homework on a particular subject, especially if I was having a guest. I had a number of really fantastic guests. My producers were great. We were able to bring in a bunch of great people. If you go to the archives of this show, I've put up a bunch of the great guests that I had from my last show there as well. So I had like Chris Novoselic from Nirvana. I had Jesse Ventura, who's a fantastic guy. All kinds of people. So anyway, you can check all that. Go to number1ninja.com. I don't know if I have that up, but you can find it if you go to number1coaching.com. So let's talk about preparedness in general, though, right? Like, you want to do what's called general preparedness. So let's say that right now, this is a time of year when everybody is like trying to do their New Year's resolutions and come up with how they're going to attack the next year. The first thing that I would do, honestly, let's make this a little bit about preparing for 2023. The first thing I would honestly do is I would go back and I would look at 2022 and what were some of your wins. Now, unfortunately, you probably have a lot more wins than you know. You probably do. Part of your responsibility at being a better person is recording your wins. I mean, we don't count how many shots Michael Jordan missed. We count how many shots LeBron James or Michael Jordan or anybody made. So you need to start recording your wins. This year, I had starting at the beginning in January, a year ago, I was flown out and honored at Onnit headquarters in Austin, Texas, by invitation of Leo Savage. Got a nice message from John Wolf, who runs the company. And it was just a huge win for me because, I am the guy who created the modern fitness mace movement. And, everything that made a lot of people a lot of money, got a lot of people healthy, helped people travel the world with it, whatever. I love that, man. That is awesome. I have no moral hang up with money because I don't think money is evil if you don't do evil things or didn't come by it through evil means. And mostly what I determine to be good and evil have to do with notions of voluntary consent amongst individual beings, right? And non-harm, non-malfeasance. Anyway, to be prepared, I would go back and look at your wins. Like, I thought that was a great win right out the gate at the beginning of the year. Then I got COVID, boom. But then I had another win. I held my first ever 10X business boot camp here in Denver. Everybody was super stoked afterwards. We really helped change a lot of lives. I mean, the wins I'm not going to go over all my wins because you don't need to hear them. But I would go over your wins. What were the things that you did this year? You might need to scroll back through your Instagram or your Facebook. That is the good thing. This is one of the reasons why I do suggest, I have this thing that I say, don't let your cell phone, CELLPHONE, your cell phone, don't let your cell phone replace self-ownership. Okay. And the next piece that I say on that typically is you need to start learning to produce social media instead of consuming social media. Does that make sense? That's what I'm doing right now. I'm producing social media. And right now you're consuming social media. And I want you to stay. I'm not saying stop. What I'm saying is that you need to get on the other side. You need to start producing. Now, with regards to your wins, you can go, for example, if you go to my Instagram at Ask Coach Jake, this is for the people that are on YouTube and whatnot. You could go there and you could look on my videos. I was doing this actually last night with my wife at the end of the day, scrolling through all the videos I made of the year. And I was reminded of so many freaking amazing wins that I had this year. So, not only got honored by On It, not only ran my first 10X business boot camp successfully, had the middleweight tournament for Shoe Pro Wrestling, toured with Scientific Wrestling, like just so many things. We had 11 affiliates sign up to join us in our mission on Scientific Wrestling to improve the lives of every man, woman, and child on earth through Scientific Wrestling, whether they be just a fan, athlete, coach, or promoter, or a combination. I mean, killer shit, right? So that's the first step. You need to go look at what your wins are. Why? Why look at that? So you can get all rah-rah? Like, no. Listen. This is my problem with and I don't know if things have changed, but back in the day, like all the Tony Robbins stuff, I never got into any of that guru stuff. I bought some of his materials. In fact, one of his materials changed my life in my early 20s. Okay. But I think that motivational speakers only go so far. I personally believe a client of mine on a call today said this, and boy, I'm like, dude, I'm stealing that. That coaching is better than cheerleading, right? Coaching is better than cheerleading. So all the rah motivation stuff, okay, that's cool. But you want to be able to like start rocking and rolling, and you need to see what your strengths were. And those strengths are encoded in those wins. So go through. First step on preparing for 2023. Go and look at what you actually did great this year. Okay? I don't believe personally in coaching to people's weaknesses. I think that is a very slow, ineffective way to affect change in people. Okay? So what you want to do is you want to see, man, I kicked ass at XYZ. Notice on your wins, is there a theme? Is there something that unites all the things? And maybe not. There may not be, but start looking and thinking a little deeper about that. So that's first step. Look at what your wins were. Okay. Now, once you know your wins, let's start looking at it, because your wins are also going to tell you where you've been, how far you've gone. Now, for you to prepare for the next year, you need to know where you're going to go. You don't want to let life happen to you. It will happen to you whether you like it or not. And so many people just live in this reactive mode of life. But you have to start getting ahead of things financially, ahead of things with your health. People see on my Instagram, like, dude, you spent 70 minutes or an hour and 10 minutes working out on a rowing machine and an elliptical bike in a sauna that's at 129 degrees. The hell is wrong with you? And what's wrong with me is I'm actually preparing, because some days I can't work out because I'm traveling. So I am building up my bank. It could be for health, it could be finances. I'm trying to save every freaking dollar so I can get ahead. Does that make sense? And I'm trying to balance it with, like, what should I spend? Like, because investment in yourself, in a company, in your future, any of that is risk. right? And what is risk? Risk is a trade-off. You don't know. That's what risk means, is that there's uncertainty. And you're making a bet. Given, again, I recommend you bet on yourself first and foremost, especially after you've done a strong assessment of what your wins are. What are you doing that's moving the needle? Once you do that, you need to figure out, okay, I know what is good. I know what my superpower is. I need to now start thinking about, where do I want to go? And when do I want to get there? Now we're moving from having a strong assessment of yourself and your a belief in yourself that's vetted out by facts, your wins. So now you have a little bit of confidence in yourself. Now you go and you start setting your goals. Does that make sense? So one of the things you want to consider is setting massive goals. This is a great thing. That's what this whole book, well, not the whole book, but one of the main concepts in this fantastic book by Grant Cardone. I highly recommend it, dudes and dudettes. It is a great book. 10X Rule. Listen to it on Audible if you don't think you'll actually read it. Just listen to it while you're driving. But it really is about, like, you need to set really, really high goals for yourself. Maybe they're sales goals. Maybe they're fitness goals. Maybe they're spiritual goals. Maybe you need to go and get away from it all for a minute and get your head right and get away from social media and listen to your thoughts, or listen to the universe. I don't know what your goals are. Okay. So I would suggest that you write down your goals. There's a great analogy. Stephen Covey, if any of you guys know of Stephen Covey, he has this analogy about time. And he uses in the story, in the explanation, in this analogy, a jar, rocks, pebbles, and sand. The jar is your, let's say the jar is the amount of time you have in a day. The rocks are really important, big tasks, these things that are going to move you forward, but they're not little like cook dinner, like not that, like they're big goals. Like it's going to take a month, 2 months, a year, 6 months, something like that to accomplish. Maybe like running a marathon. Let's use something in athletics, or hitting a quarterly sales goal. Okay. That would be a rock. Now, all your daily activities, like doing the dishes, like checking in with your family, all the daily things that you have to do to maintain your life, those are the pebbles, right? And then the sand is all the distractions. Okay. If I took that jar, which represents my time in a day, and I filled it with the sand first, the distractions, there'd be no room for the pebbles and rocks. Okay. I'm talking distractions. Don't let your cell phone replace self-own, right? So the distractions. Instead, the distractions come later. First, put in the rocks into the jar. Okay, now I can fill it up with rocks. And there's some space. Next, I'm going to fill it with the pebbles. Now I can fill it with a bunch of pebbles. Then when I I don't have that much room for sand, for distractions. Does that make sense? So I want you guys to, again, go over what your strengths were. What are you doing that's right? How are you killing it? So you prove it to yourselves. And so you have a track record of like what you should lean into. You should probably do more of that and then hire out the rest of the stuff that needs to get done that you're not awesome at. Because there's somebody who's going to be awesome at that stuff. It's a big world, man. 8 billion people. And the more people, the better. By the way, if you're one of these people that is going to preach that the world's too populated or whatever, do us all a favor, just start with yourself. Okay. If you know what I mean, because the world's not overpopulated. In fact, the more people, the better. That has been We live in the pinnacle, the absolute pinnacle of human achievement. We could fly jet planes. We could be on the internet in the plane. We can, I can have anything delivered to me in 2 days. I have the world's information at my fingertips. The world's amazing, and it is the most populated it's ever been. You need to understand this idea of the network effect. Now, this is something I also want you to understand with regards to your preparations for goal getting. Okay? You need to understand the importance of people. This is something that I bumped up against I probably wasted 10 years of time on this because I didn't realize it. I thought I could do everything myself, and you can't. There's only so much of you to go around. I'm saying when you're dude, I'm a very efficient person. If you've ever read my list of crazy shit that I've done, I do a lot of stuff. Okay. But I was trying to do everything myself. And it's amazing. My ability at time management and discipline and hard work, massive action, all that kind of stuff. But it's only gotten me so far. I have to expand. That's why I've enlisted my buddy, Michael Anthony, who he has such success in podcasting and is just a normal dude, a great guy. He's like, his podcast is like in the top 10. And now he just had some stat he shared. He's #1 in Iceland, the #1 podcast. So, I mean, you see, so I want to work with this guy and I'm going to I just paid him handsomely, right? He's a great guy. I'd highly recommend him, by the way. If you're looking to do a podcast and really want to have it done the right way, let me know. I'll connect you with him. He's fantastic. So he's going to start producing this podcast, helping me. You need to get people involved, right? So first step, figure out what you're good at, give yourself some celebrations, be excited for what you did in 2022. Now, set these goals. Now, what are the goals? Any of you guys, hey, what's up, Tom? Good to see you, man. Marcelino, happy to see you. Lyrically Indigenous, Mario, Guts82, all you guys, happy to see you. So if you want, drop them in the chat. What are some goals that you're working on? And I will help you maybe think about them a little bit, okay? This is what I do with clients. They pay me a lot of money for it, so I'm offering it up if you want to. If not, don't put anything in the chat. Here's what I would suggest. You need to have a huge goal. So my goal with #1 coaching, and it's very similar with scientific wrestling, is I want to improve lives. I want to improve the lives of every single person that I possibly can. And I'm sending that big, over 8 billion people. That's why I had to enlist Michael, because I'm like, dude, I need to get my message out. And I've hit the ceiling for me. And now this guy's an expert. Like I said, he's in the top 10. He's #1 in countries. So that's what I want to do. I'm going to be doing the same thing with scientific wrestling. I've been working with a guy. This is super exciting. Craig, he's in Australia to actually bring scientific wrestling out to Australia, probably Brisbane and Sydney, hopefully before the end of the year, if not maybe 2024, but it's a big project. Trying to get that reach to as many people as possible. Does that make sense? Now, what is the good news on that? What do I always say? People are money. So the more people that I can reach and the more people I can help, the more money I can make. It is a win-win. Does this make sense? This is why I love business, because I love this idea of a win-win, of a positive sum game, of the winner's exchange. This is the one thing that I think is really fundamentally different about coaching business versus coaching athletics, and particularly a sport like combat sports like grappling or martial arts. Those are zero-sum games. There is a winner and a loser. But in business, if it's done right, there's no loser. It's win-win. There's no, the point is this idea that the people are better for having exchanged with each other, if that makes sense. So first step, get your wins down. Know what you're good at. Second step is you need to start setting these bigger goals. Okay, what Covey calls rocks. They also use that analogy, EOS, if you've ever heard of them. have taken this concept of rocks and put it into their system. It's just a metaphor, guys. The point is you need to start setting like these goals. So let's say you set a 6-month goal. Let's set that your goal is to do 500 squats nonstop. So what is the best way to hit that in 6 months? I would take the number of squats that you need to, and I would program a plan for me to gradually increase until I can reach that number. And I think the easiest way to do that, by the way, for those of you who want to hit 500 squats, I did this for pull-ups. I hit my personal max of pull-ups. This is back when I owned a CrossFit Beach Cities. When I think we were in the first 100, maybe 150 affiliates in CrossFit ever. This was 2006 in San Juan Capistrano, California. And like pull-ups, the way I did it is you do your max. So let's say right now you can only do 10, or let's say you can only do 5. Okay. You do 5. Then you do 4. Okay. Then you do 2, and you ratchet it down. So let's start with squats. Let's say right now you can only do 50 squats. Do the 50, give yourself half a minute, 30 seconds or a minute to rest, and then do 40. Do the same thing. Do 30. Do 20. Now, next time, do your max reps. Maybe your max reps are at 50. Excuse me. Maybe they're at 50. But maybe because you've been doing them now, maybe you go to 60. Do you see? And now you've added a whole other step in the ladder. So you're going to break down these goals, but you need to have a big goal, something you haven't done before, something that's challenging, something that's exciting. My litmus test for setting a goal, if how I know it's big enough, if it makes me feel a little embarrassed and uncomfortable to speak out loud to other people. Like, that's how I know. That's how I know. Is if it's embarrassing. Okay? Now, back in the day, did I think that scientific wrestling would be this big, that the mace belt would be this big, that that I would be successful with regards to entrepreneurship in coaching other companies and creating my own companies and launching them and selling them? No, but I set these ridiculous goals. And a lot of that came to me by listening to heroes or mentors. I remember to this day, I was listening to, I think the album is 2001 by Dr. Dre, and there's some lyric in there about move units. He says, like, it's basically like, it's somebody who's talking shit. He says, like, move units and then come to me. And it just got me, that simple line, because I'm listening to somebody that I liked when I was younger, got me totally spun thinking about, man, he's right. If I sell 1 million units at $1, I can make $1 million. If I sell, 100,000 at 10, at $10, you can make $1 million. You get what I'm saying? So I started thinking about these big goals. That's what you need to do. Look at yourself, look at what you want to do, and set it big. And you're never going to reduce the target. You're going to increase the amount of action and the efficiency of the actions you take to reach that goal. Now, like I said, one of the things that I realized recently in the last 5 years, really in a big way, is that you're never going to do it yourself. If you really have a big goal, you're going to need to get a lot of people involved. So I have no idea how many employees that Jeff Bezos employs, but for him to get 2-day shipping on an near infinite amount of products available through Amazon, and 2-day shipping on a big majority of them, that requires tens of thousands of people. Does that make sense? So when I realized I wanted to really make scientific wrestling a big thing, not just, okay, great, I've written these books and produced these films and done this stuff, and that'll last forever, which is true, but I wanted to reach as many people as possible, as quickly as possible, like in my lifetime. And I don't have a huge lifetime left. I did this on the other show prior. I mean, I had probably, if you look at my lifespan based on actuarial tables, And the average American, they actually reduced it for the first time. Age expectancy is going down now. It's 76 and a half or something. It was 77. But let's say it's 77 because I'm healthy and I work out every day or try to and eat healthy. So that gives me like 27 years left because I'm almost 50. I'll be 50 this year. It gives me 27 years. I've already spent twice that. I've been alive twice that. I've been alive twice of what I have left, if that makes sense. So I want to get on this, man. I want to get going. And for me to do that, I'm going to require the help of other people. Now, I realize that people aren't necessarily, there are a lot of people I've met that are on the same mission as me naturally. They love scientific wrestling and they want to get it out to as many people as possible. That's great. But I also realize that those people and to bring in other people, I need to make it profitable for them. It needs to be sustainable. It needs to be something that makes them money, that gives them the impact that they want to make, not just the money they want to make, but the impact in people's lives. And that's why I started out the affiliate program. Does that make sense? So now we've got 11 of us repeating what I'm doing and actually adding their own flavor and innovations because they're going to think of things that I never would have thought of. So, this is the hard part, I think, for a lot of entrepreneurs that I coach is they want to do everything and then they get burned out. You can't do that. You have to realize that if you set your company up in the first place the right way, proper sales, proper branding, proper legal, proper accounting, all of that stuff, you set that up in the right way, you should not be intimidated by hiring people who are smarter or better. Maybe smarter is not the right word, but better than you in a particular field. Does that make sense? You should not, if you have all your intellectual properties dialed in and you have all the ways that you do HR and alignment with your people, all of that dialed in, you should be able to hire people who are smarter or better at certain things than you. The very first thing you need to do is you need to hire an accountant. And then you need to hire legal. I'm just speaking to the business owners out there. Those are the first things that you need to do to be prepared. You need to start building your team. Then you probably need to start hiring salespeople and marketing people, probably marketing people first, then salespeople, right? But people do so many people do it backwards. They start with a product and dump all this money into a product, and then they're screwed because nobody knows about it. Nobody's educated about it. They have nobody to sell it. Does this make sense? So preparation is really, honestly, a big part about looking at the past and looking at the future and trying to find the optimal mix of the two so you can hit those targets. So let's use shooting because I'm using targets as a metaphor. So let's use hunting, or even if you're doing clay pigeons or just target practice. The longer the target is out, the higher you have to aim. The longer out on the horizon that your target is, the higher you have to aim. Do you know this? Have you ever shot guns? Because as you shoot it, gravity's pulling it down, right? So the more velocity, it can travel further before it gets start pulled down, but you have to adjust your target. It's like if you're hunting a bird or, ducks or something, or dove hunting or whatever, or you're doing skeet shooting, you have to lead the target. Now, this is the same thing when you're setting goals. You want to aim high for the target. I can't tell you how many people, if somebody aims for just like a sales quota, they'll seldom make their sales quota. Or if they do, they'll just do that much work and then wonder why they never improve or why they're not getting a raise or why they're not making more money. You have to take responsibility for that. You have to do it. You have to push yourself and say okay, I set myself this big goal. Let's say I want to make $100 million in a year. I have to divide that by 12, right? so I can figure out how much I need to make in a month. And then I could divide it by 365 and figure out how much I need to make every day. I think something like making six figures is only like $400 a day, or maybe it's $400 or $600 a day. Guys, set bigger targets. Because the great news is if you set those targets and you work your ass off, like to hit those targets, you may not hit it, but you're going to be way ahead of where you were, right? Aim for the stars, hit the moon. Does that make sense? So I don't know if any of this is helping you guys. I sure hope it is. I'm not going to stay on too much longer because I've got a couple meetings I got to get to. But if you have any questions, if you guys want to hit me up for anything in the DMs, because it's private, that's fine as well. If I can help you, again, I'm a coach. I'm not a therapist. I'm not your. I mean, I could be your buddy, but I'm in this role. I'm not. I'm just going to try to help you. And you may like or you may not like what I have to say to you, but I'm just telling you from my experience what to do and my knowledge base, right? My studies. So hopefully by this time you guys know me well enough, and I am here to help you guys if I can. I hope that you guys have a wonderful. Oh, hey, thanks, boy. My wife stayed on the whole show. Great chat. Thank you, darling. Yeah, I want you guys to if you want, send me your goals, right? This is the thing. This is the difference. I said, I really like this phrase that coaching is better than cheerleading, right? Coaching is better than cheerleading. What is it that a coach actually does? The thing you have to understand, and again, you can apply this metaphor outside of sports to business. Let's say this is how I usually explain it to business clients. That a coach is not the player on the field. If I'm coaching you, you're the athlete. You're going out there. You're getting the points on the board, right? That's you. You get the glory. You get the money. You get all that kind of stuff. I'm just a part of your team to help you succeed. And what I do is I hold you accountable. I help you figure out what the goals are, what the target is, what it is you're aiming at, and I help you get there. I am a resource to help you get there. Part of that is that I make an agreement with the you that wanted to make that target. I have no agreements with the you that makes excuses, that misses practice, that doesn't do the things. That I don't have an agreement with that part of your consciousness. I have an agreement with the person who said, hey, I need you to help me get here. And so, that coaching could be very nice and encouraging, or it could look like Gordon Ramsay on a bad day. You know what I'm saying? So that is my job, is to say, dude, what are you doing? You're not doing what it takes. What is going on in your life? What do we need to figure out? Because you engaged me to do this. So to me, the biggest part of coaching, honestly, for solid, effective coaching is accountability. That's huge. Okay. There's also, though, the idea that the coach has tactics, strategies, and experience to help you solve the problem that you are seeking to freaking destroy. Okay. So really there's two things, and that's the difference between, say, a coach and a consultant. The consultant doesn't really do the accounting and the accountability stuff. And also the consultant is kind of a player on the field as well, if that makes any sense. The coach is a coach. They're not a player on the field. The consultant can be. They can do, right? There's done for you, which would be like an employee, done with you, which is like an employee or a consultant, and then yourself, or do it yourself, where you just learn. So like a teacher doesn't, I guess they hold you accountable in so much as they might give you exams. Okay. But, are they really, really helping you? Like really, like there are, and now again, I'm not speaking to all teachers, but there's a lot of teachers that they just sit there, read through the book, assign shit, and give the test and grade it. And that's it. Okay. So a tutor would be in that setting is closer to a coach. They're actually helping you work through the problems, getting you to the goal line, getting you to that target. Does that make sense? What's up, Stephen Douglas Shepard? I want to send my son to your academy. Let's go, dude. I don't have an academy per se. We run training camps. So there's kind of a tradition in wrestling of running training camps. So we'll do that. What you should do, Stephen, if you can, I'm going to put this up on the screen because you're on Facebook, I believe. Go to this link to coachingcatch.com and you can sign up for one of our camps. I'm getting a bunch of the promotional material still hammered out, but all the dates, all the newest information, the locations are all listed at that Coaching Catch site. That is your place. Go there, register. The first camp is $377, and then after that, $250 for the 2 days training forever. Okay, so it's an insane deal. It's an insane deal. What we charge is like some of these other guys. That's all they charge for like a seminar, like for 3 or 4 hours. Okay, we're really making sure you guys are getting the most out of it. Very hands-on. But I appreciate that, Stephen. DM me if you need any help getting out there. It is wrestling, all things hybrid grappling. Really our biggest base, again, because we like to go towards strengths, and we go and we look at the numbers and look at the science and the facts, and it's wrestling. And our wrestling is big on catch as catch can for the submissions and the finishes, folk style for the control and the pinning and the top game, and Greco-Roman and folk style for the takedowns, with a little bit of catch as catch can. There are some standing moves that we do, but that's kind of the blend. And it works really amazing. Like I said, we've had top people from MMA, pro wrestling, grappling. We've had some really amazing people come through there. And some of them are amazing and you'd never heard of them. Just brilliant, great athletes. So I'd love to have your son out there. What's up, Colin? Good to see you. Kendo Jedi, what's up, man? Jay Espinoza, Mark G. What's up, Jesse? Jesse Marez. I always mess all those up. Moreland Wolf. Jesse is a real stud. He's been with us forever. I think he might actually be the longest, the guy that's been with Scientific Wrestling, been with me the longest. Great guy, great human being. Check him out. I don't know how much longer he's going to be up there because he's entering that age group where he's getting close to retiring and doing some other things. So I'm not sure how long he's going to be in Sacramento, but 10th Planet Sacramento, you can go get yourself some Scientific Wrestling coaching up there. I wholeheartedly endorse Jesse. He's a great guy. All right, guys. Well, we're rolling up on 43 minutes. I really appreciate all you guys tuning in. Like I said, things are only going to get better. I'm really excited to work with my friend Michael on producing the show. So things will get bigger. For those of you, like I said, we are on Twitter. I can't remember if we're still on Twitch. We are on Twitch, Twitter, Twitch, LinkedIn, 2 different Facebook pages that each have like 40,000. What else? Oh, 2 different YouTube pages. One that's probably 20,000. The other one's like 5,000 or 6,000. Instagram. This Instagram only has 3,000. But my Scientific Wrestling one has 26,000. But we can't broadcast right now. Said something pissed somebody off, so we're on Instagram jail. That's why I moved to this other account, my personal one for Instagram. But and then we're also on Spotify. This move not only will make the show much more higher quality, we'll be able to do a lot better in terms of our marketing and reach, me working with my friend Michael, but additionally, we will be on Apple. So, if you care to give me some 2 cents. Hey, what's up, Marco? Now we got Canada in the house. Welcome. Good to see you, my friend. So if you guys want to help with my mission to improve as many lives as I possibly can, especially with this particular project, the No1 Podcast, go to No1, number one dot ninja, like karate, NINJA. That's the page that'll take you. You can just see then all the episodes, and you click on the Facebook or on the YouTube link, and it'll take you to all the whole playlist. If there have been any shows that stood out for you, I'm trying to get my top 10. I'm trying to get 10 of them that I can use as my introduction to the Apple Podcast, because that is huge. For example, this friend of mine, he was telling me the stats yesterday. Like I said, I rattled off, maybe have about 100,000 people that I can reach right now that I'm looking to radically expand that. My friend was telling me this guy who's like number one in Iceland, he's got a top 10 global podcast, brilliant guy that's going to start taking over production. He was telling me that 75% of his listeners come from Apple Music, like iTunes or whatever. So, and we're not on that. So hopefully that means that that's going to be a gigantic boost for us as well. So if you can, just tell me which were like, has there been a show that you tuned into that clicked for you or resonated or anything like that, right? So Joseph Andrus up on, where are you calling? Are you on Instagram? No, you're on YouTube. These are the Lord's chips, Esquelito. I have no idea what the heck you're talking about, dude. That's probably me. I have no idea. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, I really appreciate you guys. Let's have a really strong 2023. Okay. So again, go back, look at 22. What did you do right? What were your huge wins in 2022? I had a bunch. I will list them on social media here soon. I had a bunch of huge, just massive, awesome wins. What were yours? You need to know that. Okay. That's first. Then once you have that list of wins, look and see, like, what am I good at? What did I really do? And then I'd like you to take that strength, that superpower, and I'd like you to apply it towards thinking about what are the big goals that you want to accomplish, given what you're good at, given your strengths in 2023. Then right now, let's keep it simple. I want you to pick 3 big targets. Big. And how did I tell you the best way to figure that out? Is if it embarrasses you to share with your friends and family. That's how you know it's big enough. Okay. Kevin, what's up, man? Kevin Coates, green coach, hoping for a great 2023 for you also. Yeah, dude, let's go, man. Let's blow it up. Let's do some real shit. So once you have that big goal, then you need to kind of break it down, put a date on it. Like, when do you think, given your resources, or given the fact you might need to add some resources, that could be money, that could be people, but maybe you need to figure out a difference in your time. Get rid of this notion of work-life balance, by the way. That's jacking you up, man. That's like trying to keep too many plates spinning. Don't try to balance your life. Integrate your life. Make it so that, like my wife and I, we work together. So we get to go and travel, and we have all this wonderful time. And then sometimes we work. And then sometimes we'll take our kids. And so it's all integrated. Everything, it makes it so much easier. You can be so much more effective. Does that make sense? Try to get everything in alignment so it works together, all parts of your life. Don't balance them because you're going to have a hard time. Balance is not easy sometimes. It's like I said, keeping all the different plates spinning. All right. So once you have that big, embarrassing, what is that? BHAG, big, hairy, audacious goal. Once you have that BHAG, then I want you to go and I want you to reverse engineer it, put a deadline, and then break it into smaller parts and figure out, like, you already know what your strengths are. Maybe there's a lot to this that don't play to your strengths. You might need to go hire that out or recruit a friend. Okay. This is how you prepare. You prepare by knowing what you're good at, getting people to help you reach those goals on the stuff that you're not good at, right? That are a part of it. I don't know. I hope this helped you guys. So I'll be back tomorrow. Again, we're gonna blow this podcast up, and I really appreciate each and every one of you. David Tice going and grabbing 20 friends to jump in on the live. I really appreciate that. And like I said, if I can help you guys, hit me up. You know how to reach me. I'm also, I do a 15-minute free phone call. I'm still allowing that. My schedule is such that I'm still allowing it. Sometimes I pull it off the market because I just get too busy and I can't add you in. But right now, I'll give you 15 minutes one-on-one with me trying to help you however I can. Okay. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. I will be back. I'm going to be doing this. In fact, as crazy as it sounds, I'm old enough to remember. Do you guys remember telethons? Remember that? Like the Jerry Lewis telethon and stuff? You know what I'm talking about? Where it was these like, they would broadcast for like 24 hours and try to raise all this money and all this kind of stuff. I'm thinking of doing a podathon. Like I might do it. I may not do it on New Year's because that's kind of a family day for us. But like New Year's Eve, I may not do it then. But I might do it like New Year's Day and do a long show, like a long show. I don't know. That probably, I don't know. I don't even know. Sometimes you got to just test shit and see if it works. So I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow probably. I'm trying to get very regular on this while I have time. Guys, hit me up. I'm telling you, you're missing out. I'm putting this out there for you guys. Okay. I am here to help you. If I can, I will. All right, guys. Talk to you soon. Have a great day. Make the most of it.